Coming up on today's episode of Parasport Nation, Paralympic gold medalist and defending champion Tyler Turner is here from Para Snowboard. He's talking about preparations for Milano Cortina, and he has a new show coming up on AMI TV. There's not too many details out yet, but you won't want to miss it.
Welcome to Parasport Nation with Alex Smyth and Nathan Clement.
Welcome into Parasport Nation. I'm your host, Alex Smyth, as always joined by co-host Nathan Clement. Nathan, I feel both of us are dealing with some aches and pains in our back. Mine, because I'm clearly over the hill and shoveling once for the first time this year, has got me all stiff and sore. You are a high-level, high-performance athlete. You're allowed to have back pain. I'm not. But how are you feeling?
I'm holding in there. I am going to be getting the words in deep today. Going to be cycling through all the conversations and really trying to get topic by topic really going there today. So just going to really just get through and see what we can do. But it's a part of sports, part of life, dealing with the fun side of it. So I'm excited today to really hear the conversation that you had with Tyler, as I was not present for it. But there's a lot of fun, exciting things happening in the world of sports that I cannot wait to dive into.
Yeah, it's going to be a gritty performance by you on PSN. This is going to be your Jordan flu game broadcast. I'm sure of it. It's going to be spoken about for the ages. But yes, let's get down to some of the big news of the week. And that is the Chile 2025 Youth ParaPan American Games. Canada racked up some serious hardware: 7 golds, 3 silvers, 4 bronze medals. They had 8 medals from the para swimming, 2 from wheelchair basketball, 2 from goalball, 1 from bocce, and 1 from table tennis. The big takeaway, in my mind, at least one of them, has to be from the men's and women's wheelchair basketball teams. The women's 3-on-3, the men's 5-on-5, both capturing gold.
That's huge, and that's so major for a program that's had that success in their history and really built up accolades and built up that tradition, and now have a young crew, a hungry crew, get back on top, get back on the podium. It's just amazing to see. But also you go into other sports like goalball as well. Goalball, double podium there, swimming, 8 medals. It's looking good. But the great thing about the Youth ParaPan Am Games that stuck out to me, and I know stuck out to you as well, is it's first off a great classification opportunity for a lot of these athletes. But that being said, there was over 1,500 athletes from 30 countries taking part. And often you and I talk about growing parasport, that development, the importance of it. When you have 1,500 athletes just from North and South America and even the Caribbean, that is just such an amazing sign of where parasport's going in the future.
Absolutely. And I mean, you have some great performances already, some familiar names, I will say, like someone like Harry Nickerson, who was one of the opening flag bearers. Someone that I know Peter Parsons has talked about, we have talked about on this program, that rising star in the world of goalball. But you also get athletes that maybe you're less familiar with, like Alyssa. I'm going to assume it's Smyth because it's spelled the same way as my last name. So I'm going to say Alyssa Smyth. She racked up a number of medals, 4 gold for her in para swimming, in the 100-meter freestyle, the 100-meter breaststroke, the 50-meter freestyle, and the 100-meter butterfly. That is just a tremendous performance. And yeah, I mean, where do you go from here? You dominated that at that level of competition at the Youth ParaPan Ams. I mean, the future is extremely bright for an athlete like Alyssa.
It's extremely exciting just to see what can happen down the road. But for her, and you mentioned Harry Nickerson and so many other athletes, this is a great testing ground. This is a great opportunity for them to really get that experience. So when they're trying to make the senior teams, when they're trying to make the senior squads, if that's what they pursue, if that's what that direction they go down, it is exciting when you have those experiences. Like if I had the Youth ParaPan Am Games when I was that age, it would have meant the world to my development. And I know so many other athletes feel that same way. But it's really exciting. It's encouraging talking about this kind of success that Canada has had. And hopefully that can be that starting point, that jumping off point for future games in LA, Brisbane, or wherever 2036 is going to be down the road. It's exciting, and it shows parasports in good hands with that next generation.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the double gold by wheelchair basketballs within Canada. Is wheelchair basketball back? Are we ready to see a resurgence of Team Canada on the Paralympic level or the World Championship level when it comes to wheelchair basketball in a few years? Because, I mean, it's hard to ignore double gold.
Ball is back. There's no other way to say it. Ball is back after that run in Paris that both the squads had. It's safe to say we're back, and with Worlds happening in Ottawa in 2026, it is really, really such an exciting time for the program to bring back that legacy, bring back that history, and hopefully bring back that hardware at the games.
Yeah, we're going to have to just keep track of some of the names on these Youth ParaPan Am rosters. Maybe they do make an appearance when we get to that World Championship next year. Like that, it's going to be truly something to keep an eye on and see how those rosters shake up. But someone else to keep an eye on is a defending Paralympic champion, Tyler Turner. He is a man who is very busy and no shortage of things filling up his spare time, whether he is a contestant on Amazing Race Canada, whether he is competing in and capturing world championships, Crystal Globes, or now even becoming the host of a new AMI TV show. So much to dive into with Paralympian Tyler Turner. Here's my interview as I caught up with him earlier today. Tyler, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's great to chat with you.
It's great to see you again. Now, you are currently up in the Yukon. You're at a snowboarding training camp right now, but that's not the only thing that's been keeping you busy this past little while. You've also been doing some filming on a new AMI show. Like, how's that filming going?
You know, it has been a ton of fun, but extremely exhausting. We've been at it for a couple months now, and I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say, but I'm doing a lot of different sports, and man, I'm testing a lot of muscle groups that I didn't know even worked in my body, and I wake up so sore, but it's on to the next episode and on to the next sport, and I'm feeling it. So a little training camp up here in the Yukon could be a nice reset. Go back to what I know, maybe just get my brain away from being on camera all day and just snowboard.
Without giving like too much away from the actual show content side, like, has the filming gone as you expected? Have you learned anything unique about yourself? As you mentioned, you're working out muscle groups you didn't quite know were there. So, like, what else have you learned about yourself during that process?
I don't know if I've learned a whole lot about myself, but what's been really cool is learning so much about guests that are on the show and getting to learn their stories and their, adversity, trials, tribulations. It's been really cool. I guess what I've learned about myself is that I'm adaptable, and I have never been a host of a TV show. I've never, been involved with anything like this. So I guess I've learned that I can adapt, and that also guests talking about their adaptations. We're just talking about adapting, and I love it.
Do you like the hosting role? I mean, you've worn many different hats in your athletic career so far. Is hosting another one that you're enjoying?
I am thoroughly enjoying hosting a TV show. I've been a contestant on, television shows. I've been a competitor that has been featured in television, and it is fun to kind of jump to the other side where I'm asking the questions, I'm telling the story, and trying to bring the best out of people or tell the best story about people possible. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a huge challenge, but I'm enjoying it.
Nice. Well, as I mentioned, you're in the Yukon now. You just got there. Like, how are you kind of shifting your focus now to the training camp and focusing on preparing for these next few months? Because it's been busy for you leading up to this, but now the kind of the momentum and the competition starts to feel quite real.
Yeah, what's been crazy is with these shooting blocks we've been doing, they've been pretty intense. And then on top of that, when the crew gets days off, I go to training camps. So I haven't had a day off in a long time, but I'm not complaining. It's been awesome to be able to figure out this puzzle and how I can film the show and train for, the Paralympics, one of the biggest years of my life, at the same time. But come Christmas, when shooting is hopefully all wrapped and my mind is 100% on snowboard, I look forward to that. In the meantime, these training camps and this time on the snowboard it's a nice little island of just doing what I do and what I'm comfortable doing. And as much as we're going extremely hard training and doing the team thing, it's kind of a nice rest. It's a nice escape.
How are you feeling when you look ahead towards Milano Cortina? Are you feeling prepared, or you still feel like you need these couple months leading into the games to make sure you're fully set for that competition?
No, I feel really prepared going into Milano Cortina. What I'm trying to do is actually pull back a little bit, because that's not till the end of or mid-March, and usually by mid-March I'm pretty burnt out, and it's been a long season by that point. So I think it's actually been great taking my mind off of competing and, just taking a little bit of that stress away before Christmas here, thinking about other things, filming, really enjoying that process and the time. And yeah, after Christmas, I'm going to absolutely put my head down. We're going to get over to Europe, and I won't have spent 2 months in Europe already. So I think it'll be exciting. It'll be fun. I'll be motivated, and hopefully that all just works out so I can peak at the games.
Do you find that helps if you're kind of acclimatized and set in Europe ahead of time, that you can feel like it's less of a disruptive change instead of like coming in and just like jumping into a competition right away after hopping off a plane?
Yeah, we're going to spend about a month in Europe, January, February, and then we're actually going to come back to North America, and we're going to train a pre-games camp on home soil, which is going to be really cool. We don't generally do that, but we've got some really good opportunities, and through some of my sponsors, we've also been able to get maybe more than some teams have available to them. So we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to have a really great pre-games training camp on home soil, and then we're going to get over to Europe a good week or two in advance so that we can get onto time zones and everything. But it's going to be an interesting lead up, and I actually look forward to it. It is nice. There's something to be said about the comforts of home, knowing what kind of foods are in the grocery store, brands that you're and even shopping, going to Sobeys. Like it's comfortable. I know where everything is. I know what I'm looking for. I can maintain that diet that I like to have, and then we can go over to Europe and get our sleep schedule set up.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, and I totally understand where you're coming from. Where it's just like, yeah, it's the one less thing you have to think about when you can just go into a place you're familiar with. You go get your necessities for just snacks and food, and then you can focus and pay attention to the training and the preparation, not have to think about every little aspect of being away from home. For yourself, like, looking back at this last quadrennial, I mean, coming off the first ever Paralympic gold in snowboard for Canada at the Beijing Games, now to come and you have 3 straight Crystal Globes. You're going in as defending champion. What has this past 4 or 5 years meant to you, and how do you kind of encapsulate that last cycle?
Yeah, it's been a crazy 4 years and beyond that. It's actually been 3 straight world championships, and the Crystal Globes were a little more scattered throughout, but it's been a grind. 4 years it's a long time, and it consumes the majority of my life. So The successes come, which makes me feel confident, makes me excited to go in, but also as kind of, we can see the end of this quadrennial coming up. And I also look forward to maybe just a little bit of time off after, because I bought a house in the last 4 years and I've spent very little time at that house. So I look forward to maybe just having some time at home and mowing the lawn.
It's the simple things in life, Tyler, that you truly miss when you're on the road. Okay, so now I want to move past the kind of the serious, the earnest side. I want to have some fun with you with a bit of a rapid fire question time for you. So let's start with this. What is your favorite mountain snack?
Oh, I'm so bad at rapid fire because I love answering questions so deeply and thoroughly. But you know what?
Well, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Give me the details. I love it too.
Okay. Favorite mountain snack is probably like some Welch's or Sunkist or whatever in my jacket right before dropping in to a race. It's like that, get a quick sugar hit and maybe your knees stop shaking so much. So maybe that's the secret, and it's definitely my favorite mountain snack.
Nice. Do you prefer listening to music right before a race, or do you prefer kind of silence when you're riding?
I don't listen to music at all when I'm snowboarding. I really like hearing my board on the snow. Also, I'm a thinker. I'm introspective, and I like to just be there with my thoughts.
And I've read online before that pre-race sometimes you kind of go, because you are a skydiver, you kind of go through like a pre-jump check and just making sure everything is where it needs to be. When did that kind of start for you?
Yeah, the whole idea of not thinking about snowboarding before dropping into a race happened because I was struggling, because I was overthinking. And like I say, I am a thinker, and I do like to kind of overanalyze. And you can do so much visualization, so much planning, but you can kind of overdo it when it comes to right before a race. So race day, I go through my preparations, but eventually there comes a time where I got to stop thinking about snowboarding, or my knees start shaking, and the stress, the pressure lands right on my shoulders. So yeah, a good, a couple hours before racing or an hour before, I just think about the day as if it's a skydive day or a surfing day or a mountain bike day, and think about like, what do I need for this day, and how do I prepare? Where am I going? What am I going to do? And just go through all those little details as if snowboarding's not even on my mind. And then when I'm in the start gate, skydiving was a really good one because you prepare all the way up until you exit the airplane. And my idea is that when that gate drops, that's my exiting the airplane. So I just continue to prepare as if it's not a snowboard race, but it's a skydive.
I love that. For yourself, do you prefer riding in the morning or in the evening?
I hate waking up. Period. That's not true. I don't hate waking up. I hate leaving my bed because I have no legs, and it drives me nuts to try and get out of my bed. So I'm up, but I just like to spend time in bed.
The other issue is too, you're a winter sport athlete, so when you're leaving the bed and leaving the house, it's most likely going to be cold outside too, and the bed's so warm.
Yeah, if you look over my shoulder, it is dark and cold in the Yukon, and it's mid-morning, so it makes it pretty hard to get out the door.
What is your favorite mountain or a place that you've snowboarded?
I grew up going to Sunshine Village, just outside of Calgary, just outside of Banff, and I have so many amazing memories of Sunshine growing up, and now, we get to train there, and also they've been a great supporter of mine the last few years, which has been incredible. So great opportunities for me to go there and train. We've been able to build replica snowboard cross tracks before Beijing, so we were able to replicate some of the features of the Beijing course on snow at Sunshine. They gave us the space and the availability for that. And then now I've also been able to run a fundraiser event last year, the Leg Burner Bank Slalom Race, which is a lot of fun, and I hope to keep growing on. So I just love Sunshine so much. It's been a part of my life for 25 years, and I'm grateful that they support me in the way that they do now, and I continue growing there.
Yeah, Sunshine is a phenomenal place. It was actually the first and only place I've snowboarded since my vision got so bad that I had to kind of step away from snowboarding. I went, and they had the adaptive program. I had a sighted guide in front of me. So it was the first time I got back on my board in over 12, 15 years essentially. So
amazing.
It's such a beautiful spot to go, and even just to be around and to see all the runs are phenomenal.
Incredible.
When you're on a run though, or you're on the slopes, what is your biggest pet peeve from other riders?
I don't think, like within the racing world, that's a whole different world, but I think just riding around the hill, the person who has the like boom box in the lift line, I don't care what you're listening to. If you want to listen to it and you listen to it loud, play it in your headphones, but maybe I don't like the music you're listening to. I don't know. Why do we all have to listen to this like crazy loud music? So yeah, the loud boom box in the lift line person.
What is your favorite technical, I guess, like part or element of a snowboard cross race? Is there like a specific, the drop off the start? Is it the jump? Is it a specific turn? Like what from the technical side do you love about snowboard cross?
I love the fastest part of the track, wherever that may land. I'm not a starter. I'm not a big fan of start sections. I just get through them and survive, and then that's where I start going to work, is after the start section. And I love the fastest part of the track. I love straightaways with rollers and jumps, rhythm sections. I like going fast.
And what is your dream snow condition to be racing on?
For racing, it's got to be cold. It's got to be pretty dry and pretty hard so that the track holds up through the day, but not bulletproof. So it's like this careful little balance of good snow, maybe a little bit of natural snow mixed in, but it's set up over a couple days, and it's going to hold up.
Last question for you. Your dream mountain to shred on?
I have never snowboarded in Alaska. So post racing career, maybe just after this quadrennial where I have some time, I have to make it happen before my stumps can't hold up to this pressure anymore, because it's pretty brutal snowboarding as a double amputee. So yeah, Alaska, helicopter. I need to find someone to pay for this whole thing, but that's the dream.
Just get one more gold, and I'm sure there'll be some sponsor that, or hosting a TV show. You can make a case for it. It's necessary. You got to get the visuals for the promotional material. Don't worry, Tyler. I got your back. We can workshop something, pitch it to the production company.
It's going to be a really expensive intro to film, but I think we can get this over the hill.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, thank you so much. I know you're incredibly busy. Best of luck at your training camp now and heading into the games. We're going to be watching and listening and following along. So I'm sure we're not going to get a chance to catch up before then. So best of luck in Milano Cortina. Yeah,
thanks, Alex. I look forward to the next time we can speak. If it is after the games, hopefully it's for a good reason.
And that was my conversation with Paralympic champion Tyler Turner. Nathan, you weren't there for the interview, but what were your takeaways or your thoughts from that conversation?
I just think it's the excitement going into this game cycle and everything that he's accomplished, all the work that he's done. And as we talked about, the show, Amazing Race Canada, but also him as a parasurfer is something that's really, really exciting, just to see how he dips himself into every different situation. But you were there, you were present. Was there any big takeaways for you from that conversation?
Well, I think he is someone who is so busy. The fact that going to a training camp is viewed as relaxation for him, I think that is for someone who is not a high performance athlete, that is wild. It's like, I understand the ability to step away and focus in on one thing instead of juggling all these different things. Because not only are there things happening in his professional career, he talks about, he bought a house. He's barely spent any time there. He wants to be able to just go and mow the grass. Like, there's such a kind of pull for attention when you're someone of his stature, both in the parasport world, but just the personality he is as well. He's a thrill seeker. He's an adventure seeker. So you're drawn to him. You want to spend time with him. And so it's going to be nice, I think, for him to be able to focus in on snowboarding as we get closer to the games. We're just over 100 days out, from Milano Cortina. There is that point as most athletes and most NSOs say, this is the time to buckle down, just focus on training, focus on the sport. No more interviews, no more doing TV appearances, things like that. You can just focus in on that. I think he's looking forward to that, to be able to just catch his breath, stay focused, but also spending, I think he said he's going to be spending quite a bit of time before the Paralympics in Europe, doing training, doing competition, but then coming back for a little reprieve in camp at home before heading over one last time. That is something I find quite interesting, because normally I would be like, well, is it really worth the travel there, travel back, and if you're already over in Europe, just to stay over there. But as he talked about, just to have that glimpse of the home comforts one last time before you go on to the world's biggest stage, that can really have a positive impact.
It can definitely have that positive impact, and just for him, but also so many other winter sport athletes. Like, even talking with the Alpine ski team, they're pretty well in Europe from early November all the way to Milano Cortina. That's a long time away from home. That's a long time away from family. And if you have that chance to go home, go to your new house that you've just purchased, and be able to be around the people that you hold most dear in your life before an exciting but also a very pressure-filled time like a Paralympic Games, that is almost more important than going down a hill in Europe, because it's that mental health side. And as these 100 days start to tick day by day away, and before we know it, we're going to be watching the opening ceremonies of Milano Cortina. Having that time to give yourself that self-care, that mental health love, you will really set yourself up well for that success. And Tyler's someone that understands it, and that's the thing that so many other Canadian Paralympic athletes understand, is you can do all this training, but you're just going to overburden yourself, when it's more important just to land that plane, ease into the games, and spend that time with the people you hold most dear in your life.
Yeah, and he even talks about that just on the day of a race as well. It's like, you can do your pre-race checks, you can do your visualization, but at a certain point, it's going to have a negative return for you, because you're going to be overthinking it. You do all the work, you do all the training, you put all those hours in. Those final 10, 15, 20 minutes before a race, you don't need to just keep analyzing every single turn, because you already know it at that point. So when those gates drop and you start that race, it's like, it should just feel like you're in the moment. You're not even thinking about what you're doing. You're just reacting to the conditions, to the race, because that's the beauty of snowboard cross. No race is going to be the same. People are going to slip and fall or crash into each other in unexpected ways. So you just prepare for the unexpected and see what happens.
Exactly. And I know in cycling too, is sometimes you go in with plan A, but sometimes plan A blows up, and before you know it, B, C, D, E, F, and G are all gone too, and you're just freestyling as you go along. So sometimes it's better just to go in there and with the feel, knowing like what you can do, knowing your skills, knowing what your strengths are, and just race and not put that pressure on yourself. Because when you overanalyze, when you overthink, as you said, Alex, it can really hinder you. It can make you tense, and it can take that looseness that often that's what you need in a race, to be able to adjust to someone takes a cut, someone takes your line, or even if there's a crash, your way to adjust. Because if you're too tight and you're too stiff, you won't be able to move and you won't be able to relax. But as I said earlier, and as you said, as I said earlier, and as you said earlier, Tyler is one of those guys that understands what he needs, and that's the case for so many of Canada's Paralympians.
Absolutely. And what we need is to wrap this show up, because we're out of time for today's episode. So for you at home, thanks for watching and listening. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Parasport Nation. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow us now.